Well, I'm out and about today on the Giant again. I'm still waiting for the heat wave that they've been talking about. We're certainly not here yet. It is freezing today, a lot colder than yesterday. And it seems to be the theme of the weather in the last few months. Whenever they predict a dry and hot day, it's cold and gloomy. I must have gone out a bit early today. A lot of cars seem to be in a hurry, very impatient. And the other thing is, constantly having to change your planned route. Because apart from the cold, we've got strong winds as well. And I've decided to ride into wind on the way out. So I'm going the opposite direction to what I thought I was going to be doing yesterday. And even yesterday this wind hadn't been forecast. It's looking more and more like one of those years where we have no summer at all. So we're just going to do a bit of happy wheeling today, I think. Whew, it's so cold. I went out on the trek yesterday, and to be fair, it wasn't too bad a day. Certainly milder than today, and no wind. And I thought I was on for a really good ride, but it took 2.5 miles before it all went wrong. You see, the broken spoke saga continues. This is going to annoy everybody. Car drivers don't like it when you ride past them, even though it's perfectly sensible. And one of the advantages of having a bike. But British people love a queue. And they hate the thought of somebody having an advantage over them. So they think, as a cyclist, you should sit at the back of the queue and wait half an hour like they have to. And I don't really understand why they get so worked up about things that don't affect them. Anyway, back to the story. Do you remember the story? So, and for those who didn't watch the last video, I had a broken spoke on the trek on Easter Sunday. So I had to wait until Tuesday, and I called the shop and I said, it's the second time it's happened, and you did say last time that if it happened again, you'd be asking Trek for a new wheel. But he changed his mind since then. And he said, no, break from time to time, nothing to worry about. He said, bring it in and I'll fix it. I said, will you do it while I wait, or do I need to drop it off? And he said, no, wait for it, I'll do it straight away. So I fought the traffic, and there's no parking at the shop, so you've got to park 3/4 of a mile away and walk the rest. And then he said, oh, right, oh, I'll just go and see if there's somebody available to do it. And that annoyed me, because I thought, well, you're the one who told me to come through and wait for it. The fitter came out and he said yes, he would do it. And I waited an hour, and turns out it had been done half an hour previously, but the fitter hadn't said anything. And these are all little things, but they all add up, you know, to create a bit of annoyance. Anyway, I got home and I noticed he'd put a silver spoke in and the others are all black. And it looks a bit silly. It looks, I don't know, it makes the bike look cheap. It looks like a homemade repair. So I wasn't happy about that either. So all of these things add up. Anyway, so I went out for a ride yesterday. I'm going to go for a really nice long ride. See if I can beat my previous 25-mile record. It didn't last long. 2.25 miles into the ride, or 2.5, I can't remember, another spoke broke. And that to me is just bad workmanship. I got the feeling that when this fitter took the wheel, he didn't really want to do it. So that really annoyed me. When I got home, I was straight on the phone. So I'd psyched myself up for an argument. I was ready. When I rang up, and he picked up the phone and he said, "How are you?" And I said, "I am not good." I said, "Not only did your fitter put a silver spoke in it," I said, 2.5 miles later another one is broken. And as far as I'm concerned, this wheel has got to be replaced. And his response took the wind out of my sails. He just said, "Yes, I agree. I'll get hold of Trek and raise a warranty claim." And I said, "Oh, thank you." And one of the things I do know is if you're a heavy, strong rider, as I am, the more spokes the better. And I thought, well, at least I'll have the original wheel should I ever want to sell the bike or anything. But really, perhaps I should be looking for something stronger, something with more spokes. And about an hour later he rang me back and he said, "Trek have authorised a warranty claim. There's just one problem. I haven't got a wheel the same as yours." They said, "But I have got one similar, but instead of 28 spokes, it's got 32. I said, "I'll have it." He said, "Oh, okay, because it will be a little bit heavier." I said, "I don't care, I'll have it." So what I'm going to do now is wait and see how the new wheel with more spokes performs before spending any extra money on new wheels, because new wheels are ridiculously expensive. I did speak to one of the bike shops and He said, I recommend XYZ wheel for strength. And he said they're about 300 quid. And I thought, well, that doesn't sound too bad. And he said, each wheel. And I thought, oh, that is quite a lot. Well, in my mind it is anyway. And somebody else said the similar thing. He said, if you're not prepared to spend 700 or 800 quid, then you won't get anything better than what came with the bike. So that's the plan. Try out the new wheels. See how they perform, or the new wheel. Front one should be fine. It's not, I'm well within the weight limit of the bike. It's not that that's causing the problem. The problem is the power I'm putting through the rear wheel. And I see a gap at a roundabout or something. And give it a bit of a kick. And since I've changed the wheels and tyres on the Giant, I feel it's a little bit more road orientated, which is why I've chosen this route today. I still can't get the gears indexed properly on it. I think I'm going to have to ask somebody to do it for me. I have learned a lot in the year and 3 months that I've been back cycling. Different wheel sizes, different disc brake standards. I know about pull ratios and free hubs and all sorts of things that I didn't know before. But for some reason, just indexing the gears on this bike has defeated me. One thing I haven't learned about though is the 75 different bottom bracket standards and why they're even necessary. On my racing days, you had 2 cups, threaded cups. You put bearings in them and an axle through the middle, and they bolted into the frame, and that was it. And they were all the same. So why don't bikes still use that? Particularly aluminium bikes. I understand carbon frame, a little bit more tricky, but surely aluminium frames could use that system.